So Tom Cousins to break off in frame one. The graphic still a hangover from the final last night. It's actually a first to 7. This is first match of Pro Series 10.
Of course, no golden breaks or golden ducks in the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. Those are exclusive to the things down at Newcastle under Lyme, aren't they? Are they in the last man standing and things like that, aren't they? I'm trying to think what else they're in.
Yeah, Champions League.
Champions League, that's it. It's too early, I can't think. Mental blocks all over the place.
A few of the shorter format events, basically. Tom Cousins, even having watched the match, I don't really know quite how he got knocked out of Pro Series Event 9. He was in great shape against Christophe Lambert. Somehow Christophe staged a massive comeback. And they go to a 6 red. Tom sets one of the fastest times we've ever seen, about 18 seconds. Christophe Lambert steps up and slams in 17-12. Incredible stuff.
Not only that, he hesitated on one of the balls with Christophe as well. He went to go, he was going to play red into the bottom left-hand corner, realised he didn't go and had to change his mind. And I think if that had been able to go in that pocket, I think Halcrow's record was in danger there.
A record that stood for 2 years now doesn't really look like getting broken anytime soon. The main takeaway of that, though, was that Tom played well in that match. Seems to be in good form coming into this weekend. I say he's won 3 Ultimate Pool titles this season. He's won 3 on the Pro Series in the UK, or on Pro Events in the UK. He's also won Ultimate Pool America, the shootout last weekend over in Louisville. And a trip over to Morocco in between as well. Won a Chinese 8-ball event. Somebody that historically has focused more on the English game and hasn't been so distracted by some of the other versions, but lately seems to just be winning everything he enters. This is going to be a tough one for Kristi. Kristi's had a few decent results this season and is a dangerous player, but it doesn't come any more challenging than the long-time Ultimate Pool number 1.
No, Kristi's a great player, but this man is a machine. Yeah, going back to what you said earlier, Mark, there's going to be very few occasions where Tom Cousins will play like he did in a match and get beaten.
Frame.
That Christophe Lambert game was... It's right up there, and I agree with what JMO said. You know, he said that's the best game of the year, best match of the year, and I agree. Also, same place as Josh Kane, who was also having a chat with us last night.
Yeah, Josh Kane's won 2 Ultimate Pool events this season. The first one of them, last man standing, was courtesy in no small part to Kristi Caulfield. Kristi going on a deep run at the end of that tournament and not calling Josh out that helped him get to the final. Good friends off the table and played in a few doubles events together over the years.
Nice little shot there by Kristi, just pushing the cue ball through and just freeing the yellow away from that red, opening up everything for himself, and an excellent chance to fire straight back at top cap and pool level.
Very fearless player, Kristi. General demeanour in life, clearly not afraid of anything.
No, that's absolutely right. It's one of those players when he walks around the table, you know, his chest out, you know, very sort of Eric Cantona-esque from the Frenchman from the world of football. Great Manchester United player who was also not shy on the football pitch, and Kristi's very... I liken him to that sort of character.
Also means he doesn't really care so much who he's playing. He's just one of those guys that turns up, plays the situation in front of him.
Yeah, he just backs himself. He knows how he can play. He knows how good he is, and he's one of the firm believers in, you know, if I get the chances, I'm going to knock them in. Very, very nice from Kristi. He'd like to be on the other side of that yellow, but I think he'll just pull this back and take the black into the bottom right-hand corner.
Just able to pinch a bit of angle to get south of the middle pocket.
Yep, borrowed a little tiny fraction, but that was enough, as you say, Mark, to get the keyboard back into a decent position for the black.
Well, decent start by both of these players. No bad thing for Kristi, obviously, to have had that prelim match this morning. Now he's won it. It's a little bit of a warm-up. Well, it's given those a good smash, but nothing's found a pocket. Couldn't really have done a lot more. He's got half the balls in the top half of the table. Plenty of action on the pack. Slightly messy layout in the area around the cue ball. If he can get through, though, to the ball in the left centre, which it looks like he can, not a bad chance this on yellows.
Just looking if he can get the cue ball just the other side of the bolt line off one of these other yellows, to get on that yellow that's nearest the black into the right-hand centre. And that would be the key to opening up this frame, because the yellow that's stuck to the red does go into that corner, but you've got to be very precise with position onto that ball. Could do it now. If he's just to pot the one in the middle there, that's where he's looking now, that's where he wants to be. That opens up the frame for Kristi. I think he's come a little bit too far. Wants the cue ball away from the red, because I think he's going to have to dig down on this and hit this with a bit of pace and try and screw the cue ball into the red that's next to that yellow and just hold there. Not sure if he can play it really softly and roll it in. Different. He's freed it, but in doing so, he's put the cue ball in a pretty nasty position with only one ball available, in which is the length of the table yellow into this bottom left-hand corner. And this is really low percentage.
Yeah, if you get your hand on the table, this shot's all right, but you see him, well, he hasn't even got close to that. So it's about as wide as you could have got from that position.
I was going to say, Kristi, there's never been a pocket over there, mate.
Almost came close to clip it in the middle. I mean, it was, in fairness, a very difficult shot.
Yeah, really horrible cueing, and it's, to try and cue that over there, and you got to hit exactly the. If you're just slightly off centre of hitting that cue ball, you're throwing side on. You're nearly playing a swerve shot.
It wasn't like he was going to be on anything nice. He'd have had to just leave the long shot on the one on the break line anyway next, so it was going to be a tricky finish from there.
Yeah, personally, I think going back a couple of shots, he should have got the cue up in the air and just tried to belt the ball into the centre and try and hold, but that's gone now as Tom Cousins gets into these reds. This looks like good night in this frame.
Yeah, that one shot has opened things right up, because he's moved a couple of the difficult ones and landed on the other one. Once he removes this ball that he's playing now, everything has an easy pocket.
And now just tap-ins for the number one. Just wondering if he comes down and plays that one at the bottom, leaves the one that's over the bag till last. He's just toying with that idea, because it's very easy to get on the black. Not saying he wouldn't get onto the black for the one at the bottom, but it's just, it's a couple of notches harder because it's further to travel. And that's perfect, because now he tracks the cue ball sort of into the middle of the table now, screws straight back through gap of yellows and the black, straight towards the red. I actually thought he would have put the cue ball further up the table, actually.
Yeah, I think he was just slightly off angle and didn't want to risk forcing it, but leaving this ball over the pocket, as you say, kind of guarantees the position.
Great cue in there. A lot of players would have just played that half ball there, just roll that in and let the cushion bring the cue ball back. Not Tom. Down it goes, and Tom restores his 1 frame lead. Going with break so far. Kristi makes a ball. This looks a very, very nice split. Another look at Kristi's break. Nothing on the rails, nothing guarded, nothing to move out. Just down to the potting ability and keeping the cue ball in prime position, and this should be 2-all.
Good to get an immediate chance when you let slip a frame like that last one. Sometimes it can end up costing you a couple. Oh, not the best first shot he's played there.
I wondered if he'd have took on the long yellow into the corner, because I think yellows was slightly easier just because of those 2 reds at the top.
Too much angle, which is why he had to play that cannon.
Yeah, this isn't great. He might have to play the red, maybe off the yellow into that centre. So there's a yellow just to the right of the blue spot if he was to... So I'm not sure if it pots straight in the middle. I don't think it does. I think he'll have to go off the yellow. Played it very nicely indeed, and now he's back in good position.
Yeah, that was a great recovery shot. He got himself into a bit of trouble quite early on in this clearance.
Yeah, and he's very quick to play as well. I mean, it's one of those you'd argue that you'd like to give a little bit more time and attention to, but he's sort of straight down and banged it in, just like it was over the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good attitude, I suppose, in that he wasn't dwelling on... Some players would have been up there shaking their head at the fact that they hadn't got left an easier shot. But yeah, I agree with you. It's hardly a rolling shot, was it? That's the kind of player he is, though. He can just pull out those big shots when he needs them. Just wants to stay with Tom. We all know how good a front runner Tom is. He can run away from you.
Almost when he cued that red, it looked like he was about to play that with a bit of screw and come off the side rail and changed his mind halfway through the shot and just rolled it.
Yeah, I think if it's one of those shots that if you're playing in practice, you probably would just swing it around a couple of cushions, but just thought to himself, why do I need to bring that into play? It's the first time in 4 Pro Series events that Tom hasn't been playing one of the Fleming brothers as his first match.
Yeah.
He's played Mark Fleming the first event last time we were in Blackpool, then his brother Ryan Fleming in the second event, and this time he was actually drawn against Ryan Fleming in the first round on Thursday. Ryan wasn't here, got through to the next round where Mark Fleming was lying in one.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I assure you the draws are done randomly, but it's not going to feel like that for Tom right now.
Might not feel like that for the Fleming brothers because they keep being in the same little portion of the draw all the time.
Yeah, to be fair, they're probably the ones that have more to be aggrieved about than Tom. Although Mark did win their first encounter en route to the final, so he won't be unhappy with how that event went back in September.
Yeah, he's a beast of a potter when he gets going, Mark Fleming. And so is Ryan. They're both fantastic talents. The 2 Scots. But at the moment, it's the Irishman, Kristi Caulfield, at the table after an in off the break from Tom Cousins.
Yeah, not the best first couple of breaks we've seen from Tom in this match. Dry, in off. Tom's definitely not the kind of player that will be dwelling on what happened yesterday, but you're absolutely right. That Christoph game was a sort of outlier, and it looks like Kristi's turned up with a decent standard today.
I think that yellow still just goes in to the bottom right-hand corner. I know it's very close to that red, but I think there's enough of that ball you can hit to pot it cleanly without contacting the red. But this is the first opportunity to see the match go out of sequence, if you like. I think you can just flick this yellow in. Yellow goes past the black in the bottom left. So ideally, if you get the cue ball right into the centre of the table here, it'd be great.
Unquestionably, he's had more chances in this match, so be looking to try and get a lead opened up.
Nice shot again from Kristi Caulfield, centre of the pocket. Looking quite determined. Holds the cue quite a way down. A lot of players hold right at the back of the cue, not Kristi's. Sort of about 3 or 4 hand lengths up.
Yeah, he's got a very compact action generally, hasn't he? He puts his hand near the cue ball.
Yeah.
It's become a bit more of a thing in recent years. You see some of the snooker players have been focusing on that. It used to be that people would play with a very long bridge, but now a few people trying to shorten up, put their hand nearer the cue ball when they play a shot. Well, no shortage of pace there for Kristi.
Well, the red's looking a right mess, so I think, yes, there's one yellow that's stuffed behind a red, but you have to take yellows here. One red behind the black, 2 ruined on that cushion on the left-hand side, going nowhere. I mean, it's almost as if Kristi has a free go at these, because even should he miss, what would he be leaving Tom?
Yeah, the reds are as bad as they could be. The free go for Kristi is going to be whether he can get the yellow out that's on the right-hand cushion.
Well, I think he can get here now, so he puts one in the middle and he's just looking now, wants to leave a cut into that bottom right-hand corner with the yellow that's between the 2 reds. Cue ball should hopefully, for Kristi's sake, is cannon the bad yellow out that's stuck behind Tom's red. And like I said, this is a free hit because there's 3 reds that are dead on the cushions. Oh, it didn't really move it much. Still there.
I like the idea. I think he was trying not to play with too much pace and risk throwing the cue ball too wide, but just didn't quite get enough of the yellow, so he's going to have to find another route back to it.
There's almost... Oh, that's a tremendous shot. I didn't think he even had that on. I was about to say there's almost a case of just bumping the yellow out and letting Tom have a look at the reds. And then Kristi's just played a wonderful shot there. I didn't think he could get enough side on, especially on like quite a new table or new cloth, to generate the cue ball to get into that direction. And that's a really, really good shot, Kristi Caulfield then.
Yeah, it's an angle that wasn't really there. Manufactured it with a lot of side. And this is his reward. Yeah. Chance to go 2 frames ahead.
This is so good, this is from Kristi.
Oh, very good indeed. 4-2 now. 4-2 is a kind of pivotal moment in the match, because if his opponent starts adding any more, it's going to be getting very close to the finish line. Went for control rather than power that time. Visibly took a lot of the pace off the break. Much better outcome though. Back to the front ball break after trying the cut break earlier on. If he can get these balls cleared up, he's going to feel like the first bit of the crisis is averted. 4-3 wouldn't be too bad, but 5-2 is obviously starting to get quite big. I think all 3 of these reds do pot to the top right-hand corner, so it's just a case of manoeuvring the cue ball around. And had to go right round the back of that yellow, which was an easy line to pick out. Tom hasn't really done a whole lot wrong. It's just he's given Kristi a couple of chances off the break, which he wouldn't normally do.
And this match is really following off from what we had yesterday. The standard of play yesterday was out of this world, and the relentless break and finishing, and the way the balls are coming out from the players' breaks has just been incredible.
Yeah, it was just the consistency, wasn't it? I was expecting to see good moments with the great players we've got, but it was like everybody was delivering and almost all the time. There really weren't many scrappy frames because of any kind of poor play. There was obviously one or two where the balls just ended up like that. But generally, people were just going for anything they could see. I've only seen 2 6-red shootouts because the players have been playing at such a pace that all the matches have been getting completed well within the 50-minute time allocation.
There's a lot of the players will just stay in their chair until the balls are racked, and then they get up. Not Kristi. He's straight stood to attention as he gets that yellow into the corner. And well, you look at the balls once again. Yellows, look, the ball, one long, one down a rail. And this has been absolutely phenomenal. And another great pot there from Kristi Caulfield down the rail. And he hasn't put a foot wrong in this entire match. And neither has Tom. He's had that one in off the break, and that's effectively cost him. Thus far anyway, and we're still not halfway through the match, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better first match of the day, could you? And it wasn't guaranteed to be this way. You need 2 good players to turn up at the same time to get this kind of match.
Oh, lovely shot there with the side. That could easily have gone wrong if he didn't get enough or got too much. Either way, he could have snooked himself on that yellow.
Got one more shot to play. There's some traffic here. Needs to catch this thin so it doesn't bring the reds into play. Now, he'd have loved that as a thick contact, but now he's got a very thin cut back into the middle. Sorry, in the middle, into the corner. I said that because I was just saying, could he double through the gap of the reds? But I don't think he can. So it would be the cut back into the corner. Oof! Oh, what a shot! What a shot!
No, unbelievable! What play from Kristi Caulfield! He's got his own show out there now, isn't he?
Well, that's much better from Tom. That's a lovely break.
Yeah, you can wave goodbye to this frame. And we're still not quite halfway through the match. And we probably won't. We'll probably just get the halfway stage. I think as Tom dishes these up, we'll have played 9 frames in 25 minutes.
Incredible standard, incredible speed. Tom's one of the players that mixes up his break a bit more than some. He's got quite a range of different breaks. The one that he's used the last couple of frames, it's taken a little bit of pace off, gone for the front ball break, but focused about the control, not the power, and it seems to have served him pretty well. It's what he needed though, because he definitely doesn't want to be seeing his opponent get onto the hill while he's still back on 3.
thing is, Tom Cousins, though, completely unmoved. Just gets on with his same routine as he goes through the balls. I think he was expecting a little nudge there, and he didn't get it. Still okay, but just a little slight, probably change of shot.
Just starts adding up. We had to play a more difficult positional shot there, and as a result wasn't able to leave the natural angle on this yellow, so he's going to have to go the long way again.
Just maybe screw this with left hand side, come off the top round and play a load of... Oh, I wondered if he'd have popped in straight into the top rail with a low left hand side and come the opposite way. So it's like check side and come off the cushion. That way you avoid that red, but he's okay. And in goes the black, and another finish from the break. And another ball off the break for Kristi Caulfield. A little bit more work required for this finish, even though the balls are all free. There's a couple of dodgy balls on cushions now this time. He had one on the rail like in his last finish 2 frames ago, but there is now a case for either colour, and I think he's going to have to take yellows just for the easy starting ball. But the yellow that's near the middle bag on the right hand side, there's a red in the way, so you can't double that. So it's going to have to be moved. Declan Brennan there, sat in the middle of the three, looking on.
Yeah, he's had a good run this weekend as well, hasn't he? Played some good stuff yesterday.
Got to the semis. He plays very, very well. A man in top form. Play you don't want to draw. I'm sure we'll probably be seeing him later today.
It was kind of impossible to call, wasn't it? Once you looked at the quarter-final lineup yesterday, you could have made a case for any one of those 8 players to lift the title.
And ironically, it was the player that has lifted the most recent title that won it in the end.
Yeah, Craig Waddingham waited a while for his first Pro Series title, and then he's gone back-to-back weekends. Won the first event of September weekend, won the first event of this weekend. Ooh, well, lucky and unlucky. Missed the cannon, which wasn't great, but could easily have ended up in off. He's got a problem now, though.
Brian Halcrow there with the hat on. Brian from the northeast. Massive Newcastle United fan. And he holds the 6-red shootout world record of 15.09 seconds.
It's almost the most unlikely holder, isn't he, of that record?
Yeah. Don't tell him that.
I think I even said it in the commentary for the clearance itself.
Yeah, don't go and say it to his face.
No, well, I mean, he deserves all the credit. I think he would say himself he wasn't probably expecting to set the record at that moment.
Lovely guy, Brian. Always very cheery bloke. Loves his pull. The buzzer. One of the players that was playing when I played. He's still here.
Yeah, I mean, the players that have hung around at the top of the game for that long, he deserves credit for that alone. He's been a stalwart from the very first tournament of Ultimate Pool. He's been at pretty much every event.
Yeah, I probably packed in a bit too soon. I probably packed in at 40, so I thought I said, right, next time I miss a ball, I'm quitting. 5 minutes later.
You've been saying that for 10 years up until then.
Yeah. Cousins gets rid of his, well, say, his trickiest ball of the 5. And now, considering that Kristi Caulfield has only missed 1 ball in this match, Cousins has a chance now to draw level.
Yeah, this is a wasted opportunity, not in the sense it was an easy chance, but this was an opportunity for Kristi to potentially get himself onto the hill. He's going to have to win the match the harder way now, though, because it's going to be back on level terms.
Also, it'll be Cousins to break next as well.
The thing about Tom is the level never really drops. You can play amazingly and beat him, but it's never going to be easy. Medium pace. Well, he's found the right break for this table at this moment, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's a fairly low percentage of the maximum power he has available, but it's decided that control's the way forward. All the yellows sitting pretty nice. The 8 ball's the only ball that needs any work, and he's got options for that.
I think we've been averaging around 2 minutes 40 odd seconds per frame in this match.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
What I think Tom might do here, he just roll this yellow into the top right, leave an angle, and maybe just gently pop the next yellow that he's nearest to there into the other corner, and try and just flick that black off the cushion over to the middle. So if you just gently with side into the rail and just flick the black ball very softly over to the middle and hold on the yellow at the top. Just like that.
That'll work. Now, Kristi Caulfield, having had a chance to go 6-4 up, is facing a deficit. Tom just 4 balls away from getting himself onto the hill first.
Yeah, this is just rinse and repeat. Another dish.
See from his body language, he was worried he'd overhit that, but it's pulled up in time.
Yeah, you can just bring this back. And this is going to be Tom Cousins to go 6-5 up.
His demeanour hasn't changed one iota through this match. If you'd have watched him in his chair the whole way through, you'd have had no idea the points at which he was ahead and behind. He's just played the same high standard the whole way.
Very nicely done once again from Tom Cousins in this match. It's just been played in a phenomenal manner of potting and just the position of the balls, just everything about both players. You know, the way they've moved the balls around, and you know, they've both been faultless.
Oh, that's not what he needed.
Well, Tom Cousins had one earlier, and now Kristi has leveled things up with in-off breaks, and he's gone straight in off. So you have to say that's a Kristi Caulfield error.
Got one red tied up, but he's got ball in hand, so he can immediately look for a path into it. It's not completely plain sailing. The 2 balls on the left-hand side of the table aren't in perfect spots. Well, for that reason, he's going yellows, even though he's got a couple of yellows tied up at the top of the table. He's going to try and play yellow off cushion and off red to open up the top right corner. And once he's done that, he'll have to use the ball that's next to go into that pocket to open up the cluster. He'll want to get it done at this visit, because we've seen how dangerous Kristi is if he's allowed back to the table. The last thing Tom wants to do is get involved in a deciding frame if he can help it. So that's the pocket open. He's just got to get the cluster open now.
Yeah, he's going to have to play this thin cut into the top right. Just make sure the pot. The only danger is if you hit that, if the cue ball contacts that red half ball, it could bump it into the top left-hand corner, you know, but he's refused it anyway. Now this is better because if you play this cut up there now, there's no way you can go in off this. What you could do, you might pot the red in the same shot. So cut the yellow in. If you get sort of half ball into that other yellow, I think that's a straight plant which knocks the red in as well, which will be handy for Tom because he gets it out of the way. Well, no, he's feathered the side of the red, and that's not come out as he intended.
He's got a problem now because these reds are in the way of swinging the ball around the angles from the ball at the bottom of the table.
Well, I don't think we've seen Tom miss a ball. We've seen him going off a break and have a dry break, I think, but part of the actual, or not pot, you know, we've not seen him not pot a ball in the match. He's not had to play any safety. There hasn't been any safety in this match.
Looks like we might see our first safety shot because I don't see the route out from here.
Well, if he's going to go, it's a length for the table cross double. But he's gone for the containing shot, and that's the first containing or safety shot we have seen. It's come in frame 12.
Incredible, isn't it? Normally, however positively you're trying to play, the balls just don't quite allow you to play that many clearances one after another. I think it's the right shot to play though, because Kristi's obviously under the pressure. Any mistake could be his last.
Has to play the plant. He's got it.
Oh, he's been a bit unlucky there. He could easily have cannoned that ball out that's nearer the cushion.
Not only that, he's put the other red nearly safe over on the right-hand rail, and he's landed on nothing. So yeah, you know, well, he probably cut this one into the middle, very close to it. But if he gets the cue up in the air, just stab it in. Played a double. I think he has to. It's no good taking that long red up into the top right-hand corner because you've got nothing after it really. So you might as well just play the double and see if you can develop the other red. He's a bit out with that one.
Yeah, if he'd have got that, he had a chance. But now, Tom back to the table. Don't think you can see the one at the top end of the table, so it's not a complete formality from here.
Depends what Tom fancies here, because he needs to get rid of this yellow, but he needs to get the cue ball up at least to the blue spot. So it depends if he can cut this into the middle, get the cue ball behind the red.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Wow.
What a line he's picked out there. Not completely done, obviously, because the 8 ball is not going to be easy unless you're pretty tight in behind it.
Punch it off 2 rails, or scream it into the side cushion. Has a choice of either shot.
Played that well. That was about as good as he could do from where he was.
Well, a very missable shot here for Cousins. And this is for the match.
What a pot that was. A great pot to end a great match. Tremendous performance from Kristi Caulfield. He had the double world champion under all sorts of pressure. Had a chance to go 6-4 up, but ultimately Tom just hung around, kept himself in that match, and gets himself over the finish line. He takes his place in the last 32. When we come back, we'll grab a word with our winner.